Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. The world globalists, the Satanists, the people that want a one world order government are doing everything they can right now to pull the United States into another 20-year war with a Middle Eastern country. What is happening in Israel is very confusing. Why is the Iron Dome failing? Why are all the pro-Israeli content creators predicting that very soon there is going to be an attack by Iranian sleeper cells that Joe Biden let into the country and Americans are going to die? Tim Pool just predicted that. Laura Loomer just predicted that, and many other pro-Israeli and Israeli first patriots are predicting that we're going to have to get involved. Iranians who got in through the Biden open border are going to blow up a city and kill Americans, and we're going to get dragged in. Not only that, Israel has already in the last 24 hours begged Trump to get involved in the war. But ladies and gentlemen, now Mike Pence is saying America needs to get involved with this war. Every warmonger out there, including Lindsey Graham, is saying we got to get involved. Not only that, but I just found a video of Tulsi Gabbard just less than 2 years ago saying Iran doesn't have any nukes. They don't want any nukes. They actually let the UN inspectors go in and check regularly when Israel doesn't. We're in very confusing times. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up. Subscribe, leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from? And really quickly, before we continue, the sponsor of today's video and the channel overall is Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, in difficult, weary times like this, you want to know that at least your money is protected, that your IRAs, your 401ks, which can go to zero overnight if there's chaos. The way to prevent that from happening is protect your finances through physical, constitutional gold and silver. Verity Metals, the reason I promote them is they are patriots. They are Trump supporters, people of faith. It's not a huge call center. It's a small patriot family-owned business located out of Glendale, Arizona. When you call or text 480-717-9081 or 888-328-6105, you meet the owner of the company, my good friend Matthew Geiger. And when you tell them that I sent you, you'll get free silver. Links are down below in the description. We're jumping onto Twitter from here, and I'm going to show you a handful of very interesting things. Just in, this was 17 hours ago. Just in, Israel has formally requested the United States to join its fight against Iran. I said no. I don't think we need to be in this war. But then I had to post this. Just then, Ukrainian President Zelensky says he hopes Israel's conflict with Iran will not reduce aid to Ukraine. I wanted to play you this video, ladies and gentlemen. This is summer of 2023.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
I have a question. Who do you believe, before I play you turncoat Mike Pence, do you believe Tulsi Gabbard or Netanyahu? See, Netanyahu told us, that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. We went there, no weapons of mass destruction. We went into Libya, we went into the Middle East because Netanyahu said if we topple Syria's, Libya's, Iraq's regimes, the democracy is going to spread like a wildfire through the Middle East, but it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And now they're telling us for the last 30 years, we've been told by Netanyahu that Iran is just weeks away from a nuclear weapon. And all the warmongers who are keeping the Ukraine war going now want us to get involved in Israel-Iran war. Now, I'm not a big fan of Iran. I'm not a fan of their dictator. but I'm not a fan of Netanyahu. I love the people of Israel. I stand with innocent people of Iran and Israel. But Netanyahu, remember when Joe Biden won? Who was the first person to call and congratulate him? Netanyahu. Now, listen to what this turncoat has to say.
The U.S. forces and the very real warning that President Trump has issued to Iran about the U.S. Should the U.S. help Israel finish it off when it comes to Iran's nuclear capabilities?
Well, I think we need to make sure that Israel has the resources and the support they need, whatever shape that might take, to once and for all eliminate and destroy the nuclear enrichment program within Iran.
Once and for all. And he said, any steps needed, we should help them no matter what it takes. I just tried looking for the video. I ran across it yesterday, MSNBC, 24 hours before Israel attacked. They did an interview with one of the Iranian negotiators who was meeting with Trump's team and was supposed to be meeting them today, right? But Israel attacked. And in that interview, and now, by the way, he's dead now. Israel killed him with their first strikes. He actually said this, and I quote, I'll find the video and I'll cover it in the next couple of days. But in it, he said, we are ready to give up our uranium now. We are ready to let the United Nations or the United States come in and monitor us and put cameras and ask anything they want and take anything they want. We are ready for that deal. What we ask in return is peace, lift the sanctions, and normalize relations. He said, we don't have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a nuclear weapon. We want normal relations. And now that guy is dead and a full-blown war is happening. My cousin and my aunt who live in Tel Aviv and whom I spoke with last night are saying something weird is happening. They said, our Iron Dome is not working the way it's supposed to. We've seen it take down more dangerous weapons. We've seen how this thing works. It is weird. They said, like, our Iron Dome, we don't recognize it. Almost like on October 7th, when the troops of Israel were told to stand down for 7 hours. Even Charlie Kirk covered it. One of us, he had an IDF soldier, former IDF soldier, come on his show and say the whole country, like if you drive through the whole country, it's like less than 10 hours. Before any soldiers got to where the terrorists broke in and were slaughtering the Jewish people, for 7 hours, nobody got there. They were told to stand down. They could have had the whole army of the entire country there within 30 minutes, 20 minutes. I believe the globalists want us dragged in another endless war. Blessed are the peacemakers. I don't know. I don't like what's happening. I'm against us getting involved in any wars. What we should do is mediate peace. Peace, peace, and more peace. Not war. Negotiations were happening. Why did Israel strike now? They could have waited another month. Negotiations were going on. Trump almost every day was posting on Truth Social saying nothing but great things about the negotiations. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. There's too much fishy stuff. And now you have Laura Loomer, who I respect, but Tim Pool and many others predicting that Iranian sleeper cells who were let into the United States by Joe Biden, within the coming weeks, there's going to be a mass casualty event happen. And then Tim Pool even added, that's when all the Trump supporters are going to wake up and realize we need to get involved. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Have a great day. Subscribe. Pray for peace. We need peace. See you in the next one.